Hello, it's Erica of Herba Arts, and we're here for Sunday demo, and I have to fix the camera in the frame. The frame is very prominent there, upper corner. There, that's better. So, I'm still sick. I'm actually probably going to take a nap after this, and I'm now going to lean down and get my water. I have misplaced my water bottle. I may have left it at the venue. It could be my suitcase, which is still in the van. I don't know. But I actually stopped and got root beer I actually had my tumbler, so I was able to drink my iced tea. But I couldn't have, I wanted something else. So I got root beer on the way home yesterday. And I'm saving the cup. And I can't tell you how many things of this filled with water I have drunk, in the last 18 hours. I am staying very hydrated, but I'm at the point where I can't breathe well through my nose, so I'm breathing through my mouth, which makes me very dry. So I'm drinking lots and lots of water. So I just had a very nice cup of tea. Nice and hot, lapsang souchong. So that nice, smoky, warming feeling. So we're going to make a bat. Sold quite a few bats, or a decent number of bats. And so I've got waffle sale this weekend. Actually on Friday. It's at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. There is an event, so please go respond interested or going. I would very much appreciate that. I'll also send out invites probably later today. So, bat I'm going to make today is, I had actually set this up after I made the last set of bats, I just didn't get around to it. So I have this green from Stonehenge Mill, which actually I think was on the other side of me at Fiber Expo. They were across the aisle from me at Michigan Fiber Fair. So this is going to be our base. It's a merino, it's kind of a heathered color. And then we're going to suit that up with some spring green bamboo, so very similar in color. We're getting a little bit of this silk, is listed as mulberry silk Homer's Noil, sort of silk slubby thing. But we're going to also pick up some gold bio nylon, and then I still have some of that fluffed up carded rayon. And then for some contrast, because that's feeling the colors are nice, it's kind of soothing, but it needs a little oomph. Here's our oomph. This is that French linen fibers that I got last year, I think. Actually, this time last year. So I bought it at that Lake of the Ozarks event I went to. The Lake Area Fiber Artists Big Sale, which was in October. I didn't go this year because I went to Fiber Expo instead. But they're fairly short, but I can use them like a noil. And they're just this great sort of rusty color that'll contrast nicely with that. So that's the plan. And then it's whatever I have left on this is what we're going to do. So, yeah. So on top of, all this, I'm sick and I was very busy yesterday because, this is one of those events where you set up and you tear down the same day. We actually only had an hour for setup. Oh, let me move you so you can see better what's going on here. There we go. You only have an hour for setup, which, for me means I can't bring any of my panels in. I send people to the restroom to try things on because I don't have time to make my dressing room. And the spaces weren't perfect. I think they were 8 by 10 or something like that. And though they give me the space next to it. I did bring my antique spinning wheel, hoping someone would buy it, but no one even tried it. I brought another one from the guild that somebody at least tried, but nobody bought any of them. So if you are local-ish, within a couple hours drive, and you're looking for an antique spinning wheel, I have one. It's been at my guild, but we haven't managed to sell it yet, so I need to list it on the groups, which means I have to take photographs of it, and then I have to edit those photographs so they look good, and yeah. The The other problem I'm having because I'm sick is I'm having trouble regulating my body heat. And what's making this worse is the fact that it's October 20th. It's over 80 degrees outside. That made sense when I lived in North Carolina. In Arizona. It does not make sense in Iowa. So yeah, that's sort of annoying. Because last night I went and, I slept under my normal covers, and I was like, I'm way too hot. And of course, Heloise climbed on top of me, and I was way, way too hot. So this is similar in color, but there's enough difference. And of course, there's this shine too with this bamboo, so I think that'll add some nice depth. Yeah, she was a little grumpy with me because I left her alone Friday night. But she slept on me, and I slept really late. I did have trouble falling asleep because I drank so much caffeine yesterday. But okay, so we got that. Let's do. I want to do it this way. Sort of the stuff that goes. Hard to explain it, but the stuff that goes on more evenly as opposed to like spotted. I like to put on first, and then I put the more spotted stuff on top. So there's the bio nylon. Put the silk on next. I think I'm just going to use I don't have a lot of this left. I love this color, and I got it a year and a half ago, over a year ago, from this vendor at Fiber U, who I think she's slowly getting ready to retire because she didn't have nearly as much of this stuff this past year. So I did get it, but she didn't have this color. She had it like an orange, which I should find where I put that one because I think that would be good for Halloween. I may have gotten it in two colors. I can't remember. It's either this or I got it as. Oh no, I got sorry silk threads. All right, she doesn't have this product anymore, so I gotta figure out where else I can get it. Okay, so this is the rayon. It's a pale yellow, and it kind of comes all sort of clumped up. And sometimes I card it with hand cards. Sometimes I just flick it here, and sometimes I even just pull it apart with my fingers. I used this on the Prescott bats last week. Those have both gone on to new homes, so Melissa's very happy with those. Melissa and I did a little trading. She got bats in a bag, and I got 3 braids. So that. Okay, now let's see how the contrast works here. Just going to pull out just like a little bit of this and just paint it on. I'm trying not to get big clumps. I just want like little streaks. I'm trying not to rub my fingertips off. Okay, there we go. See how that looks. Yeah, I'm not sure you can see them on camera, but they're these little sort of rusty flecks. So that works. Okay. So that's one layer, and we're just going to keep making layers till I run out of this. And maybe in a second I'm going to lean down and get some water. Hang on. I'm hoping I don't kick that over. I also have my box of Kleenex here, but hopefully I won't have to be gross on camera. Yeah, so I'm making the bats for Friday for Wafa, but also this weekend is my guild sale. So once again, if you're local, Northeast Iowa Weavers and Spinners Guild has their fall open house and sale. You can come and check out the building, take a tour, look at our library, see our equipment, sign up for classes. I'm offering my carding class next month. I'm actually going to post that on the Arbor Arts business page today or tomorrow. I have 4 spots left. So if you're sort of local and you can come to Waterloo for the day, you can take a class with me. But yeah, so this is one of our major fundraisers. We're a nonprofit guild. Not just some guilds are just guilds, right? They're not entities from a tax perspective and all that. But we actually own our building, and we're a nonprofit to promote the education of fiber arts. So this is one of our big fundraisers, because owning your own building is expensive. Things like insurance, like we just had to get the parking lot resealed. Eventually, in the next decade, we may have to get the roof fixed. Things like homeowners have to worry about. Plus, like things like electricity and all that kind of stuff. So, and snow removal. Can't forget the snow removal. We usually do 2 sales a year, and then sometimes we do a holiday pop-up type of thing, which I think we've got planned again for this year. So I'll be busy, very busy this weekend. And then the weekend after that, sort of a little more relaxing, and I can do stuff. I'm wanting to warp up one of my looms, but I haven't. I wanted to get help from someone at the guild, and timing just hasn't worked out. Though I am planning on dyeing this week. There's a Dharma order on its way. Expected Monday. We know what happens when they say expected Monday, right? Sometimes it comes on Monday, sometimes it comes on Tuesday. I'm really hoping for Monday. Because I want to get in and dye on Tuesday, and then I'm on the committee for the sale, so maybe do a little bit of cleaning, and then I'll go in. I'll say Wednesday for batt making, and then Thursday I'll go in early and wash everything that I've dyed. And then stay a little bit for whatever, work the committee chair has set me. And then Friday I'll stay home for the shift, for a lot of stuff. But I got a couple of commissions that I need to fulfill. I also ordered a couple new styles to try that I'm kind of excited about. One could be an unmitigated disaster. It's actually harem pants. But I was sort of intrigued by this style, and they got good reviews. So I ordered a pair for me, and then they only come in 3 sizes. So there's the small, medium, because they're big, right? So and I can't remember if they have tie waists or not, but there's elastic waists, so they're very flexible. So I thought I'd make myself a pair of harem pants and see what they look like, how they fit. They have a pocket, which is what I liked, because me, I'm all about the pockets. I also ordered a maxi skirt to try. I did get a few t-shirts because I needed to round out the order to sort of, increase the discount I was getting. So I will start making a few t-shirts. Did I get everything on there? Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah, I'm very scatterbrained right now. And if anybody's commenting, I will read those comments afterwards, because of course I can't see them. Very disappointed. But the thing I'm looking so forward to, though, is not next week, that's sort of the Halloween week, but the week after. I got a message yesterday as I was sitting at my booth from a friend friend of mine from grad school who, we're really good friends. She teaches at a school in Wisconsin, but she lives in Iowa. And so I often spend some holiday time with her. But we had been roommates in grad school. And she was a little bit ahead of me. But she did things in Germany for her research. And I did things in Germany for the research. And so when I lived in Germany, I was attached to a program at a university. And I got to meet the other grad students. And became good friends with a couple of them. And several years later, we occasionally would meet up and at big conferences in Europe. And I introduced her to some other people I knew, including my friend who is in Iowa. And so I was able to put them in touch when she was going back to do some more research in Germany. And because the way some of these fellowships work is you have to have a contact in the country. And so I put her in touch with that. And so they became friends too. And she's still in academia. And so turns out she's coming to North America to give a paper in Montreal. And she thought, well, I'm in the neighborhood. I might as well come to Iowa. And of course, you know the size of my place. Nobody can stay at my place. Eloise and I are it, right? So she's actually coming to stay with my friend for that week. And so we're working out a schedule that I can go out. Because, of course, my friend still has to teach. And so the plan is I will go to her house for a day or two and get to hang out with my German friend that I haven't seen in a very long time. And I can speak my very abysmal German. She always, it's terrible. I always mispronounce her name because I say it like it's American English and not in German. And my German has always been not always grammatically correct. You can always understand what I am saying. I will say that. It's just like grammar police hate me because my articles never agree or I use the wrong article. There's certain words I can't say. I've really a lot of trouble with the R's. It's just a sound that Americans don't make, and I can't hear the difference very well. And I do stupid stuff like German premises nerds. I dude the head professor who ran the institute I was at. Yeah. I mean, I was speaking in German, but yeah, I was speaking informally with him, which was a big no. I mean, I think he thought it was amusing, and he was not so stern that he was upset with me. But yeah, I dude him. Not a good thing. But I also make up words because I would say here, ich bin verstandbar. You can understand me. But you don't form the word that way. So yeah. So one of the things we might do. So I'm thinking I'm going to be at her place on Wednesday, and so I might actually do my WAFA demo instead of canceling it. I'll just bring my stuff, do my WAFA demo at my friend's house, and I can do it partially in really bad German with my friend Evie on the side laughing at me. So yeah, I don't think she's on Facebook. They call it Book de Gesicht or something over there. I don't know. I'm sure they're probably just called Facebook. But, okay, got a little bit of squeaking going on there. But, Yeah, and so the big stuff I got going on coming up in November is teaching the drum carding for textured art bats on Sunday the 10th. So if you are local and interested, it's $100, but it is for the full day, and that includes your material cost. So it's 9 to 4. You get a little time off for lunch, and then you get to take home whatever you make. And given the way the weather's been, there's probably not going to be any snow to worry about. So if you're like in Des Moines, you can come on over. And then the other big thing, of course, is Threads and Fiber Festival is the weekend before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is really late this year, and because of that, I kind of made a mistake when I applied for the Waffle Show, because that's also the same weekend. I'm hoping I can get a slot on Friday morning so I can do. I have plans for some things. I'm trying to finish up some small projects of gifts. And then I'm hoping to do the Black Friday weekend. I will do a Black Friday Facebook Live. After I come back from Thanksgiving with that friend. We're having Thanksgiving at her house. She's the one that owns the big house. my other, there's sort of this group of three of us. And of course, I live in my small little condo, which run the business out of it. There's really no extra space. And then the other friend, who I stayed with on Friday night for this before this event. Yeah, she lives in a pretty small house, and we'll say her housekeeping sort of mirrors mine. But our friend who lives out to the east keeps a very nice house, so we always go there. And she has lots of extra space. Plus she's got like an extra guest bedroom and all of that, so. Okay. I think the linen really helps with the color, or the pop there. I think it just adds that little bit of something. I will have to clean up the liquor in a little bit. Okay, maybe one more. Let's see how we're doing. It's getting kind of full. Yeah, I've gone into teacher mode. So like when you're sick and you're in teacher mode, you have this like subconscious, like you repress your body's response to the cold. I had this happen. It wasn't like bronchitis, but it was a really, really, really bad cold. And I had like this chest rattling cough. It was over at the University of Leeds in England. It's one of the big conferences. And I was on this panel, like the last panel of the conference. I mean, there's a bunch of conference panels going on at the same time, but it was like the last slot. And yeah, I'd been working on the paper beforehand, but I'd been sick, so I hadn't quite done as well as I could have. But I tell the chair, as I'm coughing, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm sick, but I'm here to give the paper and all that. And typically there's 3 papers on a panel. So the third person had pulled out or something. And she's like, take all the time you need. drink water as you're doing this. So I think I ended up taking about 30 minutes because I was trying to like speak slowly and not coughing like that. But afterwards, she says to me, I can tell you're a teacher because the minute you started presenting your paper, you didn't cough once. And she could, before she could tell. I was like, there was mucus and there was, But she's like, I could tell you didn't cough. What? And of course, I didn't notice. Of course, there was another paper I gave years before that. I was in Belgium, and it was this great specialist conference, and I was living in Germany at the time. Where I met my German friend, and it was I went up to Belgium for this paper, and the idea was I was gonna stay like for a week and just sort of travel around Belgium and go to museums and stuff like that. And I think I got sick on the train there. I used to get like bronchitis things a lot before I got flu shots. And it was just, it took me so long to present my paper because in that one I had to stop and cough like every 3 minutes. And they kept rushing cups of water up to the podium for me. But I gave my paper. So, speaking of water. All this talking is making me dry. Let's pull this out. Do you have any name suggestions for this one? This might be our last layer. I haven't used it all up and it's feeling a little tight. And I'm also running out of energy. If you have a name suggestion, please pop it in the comments. Love this green stuff. I don't know where I can get it. If anyone has a line on like silk slubby noils, I don't think of it as noil. Because some of this I think is longer than an inch. Noil is supposed to be not over 1 inch in length. I did that. Let's put this yellow. Look at all that texture. These really nice sort of streaks of this pale yellow. So I will say yesterday's meeting of the Iowa Federation of Hand Weavers and Spinners, of which I am now the co-social media publicity chair. Anyways, I met my goal. Surpassed the 10% rule, which is, the show fee should be 10% of what you bring home. Of course, the show fee was the non-member registration fee, which was $25. But it was, no, I did well. I got enough to pay for Scenic Stitches, which is that show in Tennessee I got into for February. And enough to pay for Shepherd's Market, which is, okay, a little heavy-handed there, but it is going to probably spread out once I do that. Let me just close these up. And so, the Shepherd's Market in beginning of March. So that just means I have another March show I still have to apply for and pay for. Unfortunately, the Illinois Fiber Festival moved its date. They couldn't get the place they were the year before, and so they ended up having to move their date, and it actually conflicts with Shepherd's Market. And I really like the Illinois show, but I want to stay and support the Iowa shows. And also the Iowa shows, I have someplace free to stay. And they're both one day, so yeah. I'm going to stay with that one. And then the other Illinois show I do, which is the one in Macomb, she usually was doing the second weekend in March, and she wanted to spread things out, and so she moved it to the end of March, the last weekend of March, which unfortunately is the same weekend as Fiber Expo. And so 5-hour show, though I do have a free place to stay, it's only one day, versus a 2-day show where I also have a free place to stay, though I have to drive all the way to Michigan for. I'm going to, if Fiber Expo also tends to bounce around with its dates a little bit. So I'm hoping someday in the future I can go back and do the Western Illinois one again. But, last year it wasn't... I mean, I did okay, but it wasn't amazing. But I can never tell this year, how much is people are scared to spend money because of the economy or the election or what. So, I don't know. But I think I've decided I'm gonna try the Spring Fiber Expo. I've heard good things about it, so we'll see if that translates into good things for me. I'm still waiting to hear back. I applied to Greencastle Wool Show in April. I haven't heard back that. I do have a standing application with Stevenson County Fiber Fair or whatever that's called. But who knows what's ever going to happen with that one. There we go. I do love that linen flex on there. I think those are really great. Okay, my water's in the way, so I can't really weigh it, but I am going to roll it, and we'll stick it in. So I can't fluff it. But if you want to guess how much it weighs, go right ahead. Still also waiting to hear back about Midwest Fiber Festival. I thought the date they were going to let us know has gone by, but I could be wrong. What other ones do I still have out? Still waiting to hear about Shepherd's Harvest, which is different from Shepherd's Market. Shepherd's Market is March in Iowa, and Shepherd's Harvest is May in Minnesota. Okay, here we go. Drum roll, please. It's 2.1 ounces. So it's a little on the lighter side, but I didn't feel like forcing it. So just grab a piece of paper, maybe, if I can get my fingers to work. So 2.1 ounces. Yeah. So this will be available on Friday at my sale. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you're watching later, drop a comment and so forth. I think I am going to go rest a bit. I got to run the Zoom for the sweater support group tonight for WAFA. So, yeah, I'm flagging just a wee little bit. Okay? So, all of you take care. I will put some photos of this once I take some photos of it. Okay? And I will see you around on Facebook.